My name is Leonard. This happened 2 years ago while I was camping with my two best friends, Carlos and Gabriel. That weekend, we decided to explore the new camping spot in the forest we had learned about online. When we arrived, Carlos decided to put up the tent since he was the fastest, while Gabriel and I searched the forest floor for firewood. We went to go search for anything interesting down by the nearby lake. There, we spotted a man sitting on a log. When he glanced up at us, he stood up and began fidgeting with his rod, appearing to be completely inexperienced, almost as though he was just mimicking as best he could. "So what kind of fish do you catch in these waters anyways?" I asked, trying to make casual small talk. "You know, just the usual kind, I guess," he said with beads of sweat dripping down his forehead. I then realized that he was fly fishing, but he wasn't casting the rod at all, and he was just wearing normal clothes, no boots. He didn't look like a typical fisherman. I pointed it out to my friends and we all laughed, but the man heard us and he turned to me with a nervous look in his eyes. Anyway, I began to walk around the lake, hunting for mushrooms in the trees nearby. After a while, I came across a plaid shirt slightly hidden behind a couple of trees. Upon closer inspection, however, I noticed drag marks leading from the water and into the trees. I soon realized it was the upper torso of what appeared to be a dead man. I screamed as I ran to my friends, frantically telling them what I saw, and they stared at me in shock, pointing to the fisherman standing just a few feet away. He said, "Now you've seen too much." His smile was cold and disturbed. The gun and a bloody knife attached to his belt were made visible. We took off at full speed and dashed into the forest while the man started screaming at us, and bang! A shot flew through the air. The sound was deafening. He was shooting at us. A bullet grazed me across the leg and I fell down behind my friends. They ran over and managed to pick me up while the crazed man was closing in. Carlos threw a big rock at the guy, hitting him square in the chest and causing him to drop the gun. We hid in the bushes and the man passed right beside us, screaming and walking frantically. When he was far enough, we went in the opposite direction, hiding from bush to bush until we made it back to our camp and Carlos slipped into his tent. I told him that we had to get the hell out of there and leave everything behind. He showed me the car keys in his hand and we ran to the parking lot as fast as we could, only I was limping now. We got into our car and I quickly started to unlock a cumbersome but efficient anti-theft mechanism. That was when the killer jumped right on the windscreen with a crazy smile. We all froze. He pointed the gun at me and pulled the trigger, but the gun didn't fire. He either ran out of bullets or the gun jammed, so without much afterthought, he hit the windscreen with the butt of his gun. I started to breathe again and managed to unlock the car. We sped off with the man still clinging onto the hood. I slammed on the brakes and made him fly away. I drove off in shock and disbelief for what had just happened to us. We went to the hospital and contacted the police. The guy was never caught, but how many more murderers could still be out there in those beautiful woods?